All right, welcome back, everybody. Anybody that's new here, thanks for joining me today. For all you guys that aren't new here, DWS Outdoors Tackle Tip Tuesday. I'm going to put together some quick predator rigs for you guys, and I'm going to show you how simple and easy this is. I'm going to list everything I use down below. This goes over years and years and years of different trial and error things. There are better ways to do this, I can tell you that, but this is probably the easiest, fastest, cheapest way to do it. So if you're just trying to make a quick predator rig for ice fishing, northern pike, big walleye, stuff like that, stay tuned. We'll put one together real quick for you guys just so you can see what it is, and yeah, hopefully it helps you guys catch some more big fish this winter. Okay, so as always with Tackle Tip Tuesday, we got merch for this. If you're new here, you don't have any Tackle Tip Tuesday merch, it's always linked in the description below, and then it's also listed down below. I actually have a bunch of different merch listed below. If you guys want to check out the little cubes down below, you guys can kind of scroll through and see what you like. I have ice fishing stuff. I have big bluegill stuff. I have a little bit of open water stuff. But yeah, pick yourself up some merch if you want to rep the channel. Help us out. Get us out ice fishing. I got some long drives this winter. All the ice is way north. So we're going to do a quick walkthrough of how to build these rigs. This isn't going to be a very long video. I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible. Make it real easy for you guys. And then, like I said, I'll list all this stuff below in the description. That way you guys can just buy it and build it pretty much spot on exactly the way I have it built. And yes, these do work. I've used them before. Those of you guys that aren't new here, I used to fish for northern pike all the time. I just don't do it anymore because they shred up your hands. But this season might be a little different. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm gonna go do an overview of everything and I'll walk you guys through it, and yeah, we'll keep it simple. Okay, so like I said, this is real simple. If you guys follow me on Instagram at DWSDave31, it's been kind of mentioned here. I was asking if anybody knew what these were, but the key things here, oh, I'm missing one thing. Need those guys. So you need some kind of fluorocarbon line. I know a lot of guys use wire. I like fluorocarbon just in case the walleyes are coming around. And it ties a little bit better. You don't have to use crimping stuff. So I have 50-pound Seaguar here, 80-pound here. 80-pound I really only use for summer fishing on big rivers and stuff like that. You can use it in the winter too if you really don't want to worry about getting shredded off. But 50 pounds is usually heavy enough. You don't need to go any heavier than that. Then the two hooks that I like to use mainly for everything here is the number 2. So that's a size 2 round bend from Gamakatsu, those treble hooks. And then the 10, or I believe I use 8s once in a while, but mainly the 10. These aren't the red ones, they're just grays. But these work great for walleye. Some people say they're too small, but if you're worried about fish swallowing your hook and stuff like that, you need to build yourself a quick strike rig like these guys with these hooks, and I promise you'll have way less fish mortality and stuff like that. Also, be quicker to your tip-ups, but I have a whole nother video for that. Alright, first things first. Give this a thumbs up for me remembering to do another Tackle Tip Tuesday for you guys. I know you guys want them all the time like I did before. I mean, anybody that's new here, I used to do Tackle Tip Tuesday every Tuesday. After a full year doing Tackle Tip Tuesday, you want to break from it. So I'll keep doing these. These are very useful, and I do agree. This is probably going to be my easiest way to help you guys out. Same thing with you helping me out. Pick up some Tackle Tip Tuesday merch or any other merch and stuff like that. So kind of a mutual thing. I help you, you help me. We'll see how this winter goes. I have a bunch of new merch actually listed in the description. I won't go into that now, but check it out when you got time. Okay, so like I was saying, the two things is some fluorocarbon, and I mean anybody that's not new to fishing predator fish, big pike, big walleye and stuff like that, they can be kind of smart in the sense that they can see different lines. And fluorocarbon is supposed to be completely invisible underwater. I don't believe it's completely invisible, especially when you tie big knots in it or you crimp it or whatever. But like for those guys, they can be kind of finicky. So with that, you might want to go with a little bit lighter stuff even than this. In fact, this is actually what I have with my, when I tie up my predator rigs for just walleye. is I either go 25-pound P-line fluoro clear, or I use 12-pound. Depends on the lake. If I know there's going to be a lot of northern pike around trying to steal my stuff, then I use the 25-pound, because this stuff is so abrasion resistant. Once again, not sponsored by these guys. I would love to be. Hey, P-line, you guys want to hit me up? But yeah, this stuff, it's just really that good. As you guys know that aren't new here, I've been using this stuff forever. But yeah, 25-pound or 12-pound, depending on the body of water. If you have really clear water and you're trying to get giant walleye, you need to stay like as light as possible, the clearest of line, which this stuff is supposed to be super clear underwater, all the fun stuff. But back to the predator rigs. So, all right, you have your options. You have 50-pound, 80-pound. Like I said, it just depends. If you're fishing giant baits and you're trying to catch a 40-plus inch northern pike, 80-pound might not be too much. You can really rip on it with a tip-up or your iFish Pro like I do. That's what these rigs are specifically for, tip-ups or iFish Pros or any other predator fishing setups when you're ice fishing. But, 50, I would say 50 is probably going to be your best. This is all the stuff here is tied up with 50 for the big fish. Now, like I said, you do that and you get yourself these number 2 trebles. I like to go with the number 2 and not like an aught, like the really big ones. One big reason. Sometimes having a really big treble will make your bait sit weird or appear weird. And I've seen fish on camera, not my cameras, but on underwater cameras, studying baits. And I've noticed that like the bigger and bulkier sometimes, the stuff hanging off of them, I'm guessing the fish just think it looks weird and they won't attack it. They just won't attack it. So a couple of good red number 2s will do you just fine. So one of the easiest rigs, and this is going to be one of the, like I said, I'll list all this stuff in the description below. This is the stupid easy one. Tie yourself a really good knot on one hook. And then give yourself, this is probably like 12, 13 inches of leader. And then a heavy duty swivel. This is an inline swivel from Spro. That's another thing I forgot to list, but it'll be in the description for you guys below. I will list everything that you guys need to build these. It'll keep it as simple as possible. But this is your beginner rig. So this is that 50-pound. And like you can see, it doesn't look like it's that heavy. I mean, it kind of does, I guess. But yeah, this is your most abrasion resistant thing. Now, one tip I will give you guys, if you catch a couple fish on this and you start seeing nicks and cuts in it, just cut the hook off, cut this off, build another one. That's why you buy these spools like this. I'll have that listed below. You buy yourself a spool. This is 25 yards. You just cut off another section and make another one. Okay, so like I said, you can do that one. So that's a shorter one. Or I've done these. So on lakes where it's real clear and you want your hardware as far away from the fish as possible. So I can show you guys kind of a depth thing here. Same thing. Same thing here. It's just inline swivel tied to this number 2 hook. But now I have like 1.5 feet. You can go 2 feet, 3 feet. But this distance here will allow you to keep, you can put your split shots and whatnot for weight to keep your fish down here. But that'll keep all the hardware as minimal as possible. These are the ones I use on clear lakes. If it's a clear lake, you're probably going to have a hard time getting away with a quick strike rig unless you have crazy aggressive northern pike. Then they'll just bite anything. Okay, so those are the 2 just basic straight line inline rigs. Now you can go to the stores. A lot of bait shops that I go stop at frequent nowadays. Almost everybody has pre-made rigs. The simplest thing, I grew up doing this. I've been building these things since I was a little kid. They're kind of a pain in the butt to do, especially with these really sharp Gamakatsu hooks. Is you want to try to get 2 even length, which these aren't even, they're a 1/4 of an inch off, pieces of line. What I do is I start by tying them to the hooks first, and then tying them to this. This is a 3-way swivel. Any of you guys that river fish probably know what this is. But yeah, that's your simplest setup. So this is the same thing. These are the 50-pound, what is that, Seagar. That's the fluorocarbon. So 2 strands of 50-pound fluorocarbon, 2 hooks. And now the trick with these things, the nice thing is you can take one of these guys. I'm gonna pretend this is a fish here. Well, all right, so that's the front of the fish. So with the front of the fish, you take one of these guys, you hook it backwards like this. So that way, if a fish, northern pike, comes in, it grabs it there. You can literally, the reason these are set up this way is so when you have them both hooked into your bait, if a fish comes up and grabs this side, you can set the hook right away. Now, you take the other one and you hook it, you can hook it vertically right behind the dorsal, the rear dorsal. So if there's a fin here, you can hook it back here. So that way, if a fish, the northern pike, T-bones your bait, then you can still set the hook. Quick strike is in the name for a reason. It's so that as soon as you see your flag go up, you take that and you run and you grab it. There's no more waiting. You don't got to sit there and watch them eat the fish. That was always the stupidest thing to me, because that's how fish swallow hooks. Quick strike rigs are that simple to build. Like I said, I'll have everything listed below for you guys. But yeah, this is your typical Predator quick strike rig. I know a lot of people that make them shorter than this. Like I said, I try to keep the hardware like separate. People make slider rigs where they tie one of these on and you just have a slip hook, so you can hook it anywhere you want to on a bait. I might make some of those, but for the most part, it's that simple. Now for walleye, on the other hand, I like using these smaller hooks. So I'm going to show you guys something real quick here. Bring you over here. See that mouth? So put my hand right there. That's an 8-pound, 28-inch walleye. That mouth's a lot smaller than even a 28-inch northern pike would have a mouth like 3 times that size. So that's the thing, is what you're going to end up with is these bigger hooks work good for northern pike. They will work for really big walleye, but these number 10s from Gamakatsu are perfect. So I like my round bends because that allows you to hook a minnow better on there. Dude, I do this almost exclusively for my walleye, is I'll do just a straight one. But you can make yourself a quick strike rig for walleye. The problem with quick strike rigs is if you're in any kind of clear water and you have a pile of stuff, those guys have like laser vision. And I've watched this over and over and over again, and I've had people, I don't understand, that's a lively bait or it's moving around or whatever, and it's on a quick strike rig, a big sucker or something like that, and they turn it down all the time. And they can't figure it out. And I'm over here fishing with, this leader and this tiny little hook, and I'm catching fish. And it's because you have to fish minimalistically when you're trying to catch big walleye. Unless they're very aggressive. I mean, I'm never going to say that you can't catch big walleye on a quick strike rig, especially like I've seen big walleye eat big suckers. They love them too. And I've seen them eat big heavy-duty rigs like that, and you still catch them. So it's not like it's a never thing. But if you're trying to increase your odds catching big walleye, use this little hook and then build yourself a quick strike rig. But what you're probably going to want to do is, like, for instance, I'll tell you guys how big this one is. Man, these hooks are sharp. So, like, for instance, this is only like a 10-inch lead on both of those. Maybe 11. Probably closer to 10. So that 10-inch lead on both of those, I would double that. So if you had a quick strike rig, you got 2 hooks, and they're these little ones, make it like this. So then you have your double up your 3-way up top, and then double that, and use your lighter line. And then you'll still have the opportunity to do the exact same thing with the big walleye if you don't want them swallowing the hooks and you want to give them a good chance of releasing. Then you can hook it at the front of the minnow, the back of the minnow. Then it doesn't matter where that fish gets hit. That fish is going to get a hook in it. Okay, guys, so hopefully that kind of pieces it out for you guys. Like I said, you can buy slider rigs. You can make slider rigs. You can buy pre-made quick strike rigs if you don't want to build them yourself. But the thing is it is always cheaper to build them by yourself. Like I was showing you before, all that stuff that I have, I'll list in the description below. If you have that, I have enough line in that one spool to make like 25 to 30 quick strike rigs. And if I made 30 quick strike rigs, I would probably pay pennies on the dollar for what you would normally do if you're trying to buy a ready-made quick strike rig. So keep that in mind next time you guys go predator fishing. Yes, I'm doing predator stuff because I'm contemplating on fishing for more predators this winter. I have some ideas. Hopefully we get enough ice here soon, and yeah, I can get out there chasing some monsters. Hopefully, like I said before, hopefully you guys enjoy this kind of video. Remember, give it a thumbs up because Tackle Tip Tuesday isn't always going to be around. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's little tip video. Obviously, if you're not new here, you know what's up. But if you are new, could you please just remember to